Alright, so what's up? I just finished up a qualifying session and a race. It was my third race at the Kyoto Driving Park Yamagiwa, if I'm saying that correctly. Which this is the set of 3 races for the week. On the Kyoto Driving Park, I just finished up my third race of the week. The first 2 races that I did were earlier in the week. I did horribly, but it was okay. I usually don't do well. I get out there for practice, try to keep it clean without any penalties by going off course or contact with other drivers. No, not. It was really bad. So just finished up though, and I started at P10 from a decent qualifying time of 134.594. Put me in P10 to start off with, and I finished. My goal was 7th, 8th, or 9th, and I finished at 7th. So feeling pretty good. There's a race coming up here in 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and enter. And in the meantime, there's going to be some qualifying. So hang tight, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm coming. I needed to grab some water. Hope everybody's feeling good. Alright. So, sorry for the delay. We're going to go ahead and do some qualifying. Whenever I qualify, I do have a process. The process is to watch the fastest or second fast, somebody in the top 10, usually 1 or 2. Watch them from their point of view, and then just get familiar with the track, drive my own laps, and also drive with their ghost. That tends to help me find speed, get faster, and then I'll go back after I've gotten more familiar with the track, and I'll find out what corners I can take a little bit faster, or where I can brake later, or maybe the angle that I position the nose of the car. When I get on the throttle to pick up speed, I can often find speed that way. And when I'm in the entry though, so I've entered the race, you can see at the top, race entry in progress, the match begins in 3 minutes. When I do the qualifying here, there's no opportunity for a ghost. So really, when I qualify within the entry, it's just warm-up and practice. I rarely get faster at this point. So we'll probably get 1 qualifying lap in. I'm going to do what I can to make it count. One of the things that I learned by watching the Ghost is actually where the optimal shift points are for the Supra. So, you know, a lot of times when driving in a car, or like a real car or a racing games, you max out the red line, you max out the RPMs, and in this car the max RPMs is at 8,000 RPMs. And so as I'm in third gear, if I wait that long, if I max out in third gear, I'd max out at 8,000, 136.6, not too bad. It's about a second slower than my fastest lap, my record of 134.5. 2 seconds slower, excuse me. At any rate, the RPMs maxed out at 8,000 might be where I would go ahead and shift for each gearing. But when I watched the fastest driver shift, I actually paid attention to the miles per hour, and at 123, switching from fourth gear to fifth gear, I was able to find out that, let's see, that's closer to 7,200 RPM. So at that point, seemed to be optimal level where switching from fourth to fifth actually helped to pick up speed faster than just staying in the fourth for the full range up to red line. It's almost like getting driver coaching, but I do it by paying attention to details of the faster drivers. So I'm no different than anybody else. I'm sure there's a lot of drivers that come on here and watch the fastest drivers. So I'm P10 for this race, which I figured I'd be around there. The last race that I did, I was also qualified 10th or P10 or position 10. In order to get to where I really want to be, I'd want to be at 134 flat, which puts me about 4th or 5th, giving me an opportunity to move up to the podium. Podium being 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. So looking forward to a good race. Rather than think about how I'm going to win or how I'm going to move up position, the mindset that I go into is keep it clean, drive my line, be consistent, and minimize contact with other cars. If I stay on track and I don't get any penalties from contact, then I'm more likely to finish at my quickest pace, being consistent, while other drivers can tend to make mistakes. I can capitalize on those mistakes. So that's the strategy. This is a warm-up. As you can see, the warm-up will end in about 40 seconds, which that's not enough time to make it all the way around the course. But it's just that. It's just a warm-up. Oftentimes I feel, some jitters, butterflies, feel a little bit anxious going into the race. So this is good to get me a little bit loose, acclimated. You'll see people being silly on warm-up, which is fine. They'll crash. They'll turn around. Sometimes people will be driving backwards. There's nothing serious about the warm-up at all. Sometimes I don't even do the warm-up. Alright, so you might notice that I'm now at P9. And basically what that means is somebody in the top 9 dropped out. If I finish at 6th, 7th, or 8th, it means that I was able to move up in position, and that would mean, for me, a successful race. It also helps my driver rating. As you can see, there's a combination of B's and C's for DR driver rating. The highest driver rating is an A plus. S, excuse me. No, or is it A plus? S is the highest sportsmanship rating, which means that you're a clean driver. A plus, highest driver rating. So I'm going to minimize the chatter so I can concentrate because I want to do well. Not sure what happened to that other driver, why they went off track, but the best thing to do is not fall victim to object fixation. Don't watch them, just watch the line that I want to drive on course and stay consistent. Because if you watch another car and they go offline, you can really screw yourself up. So I got a penalty, and that penalty was served because of the driver in front of me being inconsistent and basically putting on brakes or slowing down in an area that wasn't necessary. At this level of B&C drivers, we should all be pretty skilled and be able to drive full throttle through that section. So I'm a little bit frustrated by that. Penalty was for contact. And I just served the penalty. So it's basically a 1 second penalty. The engine was cut for a second. It's frustrating, but if I get flustered by that, I'll have a really crappy race. So gotta get back on it, be consistent and patient. That is not cool. There's a lot of contact going on. These guys are, unfortunately, they are lower in the grid for qualifying. Not quite as consistent or careful. And as long as they keep doing that, that gives me opportunity to pass. But I have to look for a place where I can pass carefully. Otherwise, I will wind up with another penalty. Pretty crappy. I think that driver in front of me was driving a bit erratic in the last race and also had a penalty. They actually qualified higher than me, if I'm not mistaken. Which means they have faster lap times. It should still be out front. Again, the goal right now is just to keep it clean, not too concerned about the loss of position, although it probably doesn't make for a very fun race to watch. It's always fun when you see the cars go over the curb and jump. Yellow flag is when a car goes off track. There's a no passing zone with a yellow flag until you get to the next green flag station. And regardless of place, man, this is so much fun. So much fun. And I don't have to pay for any damages. So I can take risks, go all out. So that mistake allows me to get up here, but I gotta be careful because not every driver respects the line. Meaning, if they see that I've got my nose in and I'm a faster vehicle coming up beside them through a turn, they don't respect the line by giving up the position, even though that would protect both of our cars, and I'm obviously faster and have earned it. They will try to block, so you gotta be real careful with that. Like that, getting turned by another car, yeah, that's not fun at all. If you notice the car behind me, Bavaria Joe, as we were going through that turn, hit me in my rear quarter panel and turned me. So I had to be careful with that and hold on. All good. Everybody did, you know, everybody races their own style and is at their own level. So, you know, I make mistakes also, probably get on people's nerves. It's all good. As long as people aren't intentionally aggressive, typically don't get too upset with other drivers. We all make mistakes. Says the guy who dropped from 10th, or 9th rather, to 12th. That penalty didn't help. Alright, so it was a good race, arguably. We're going to go ahead and cut the feed and come right back on. So if you happen to be watching, there's going to be another race here in about 8 minutes. Alright, thanks for hanging out.